Thank you for tuning in to Hacks and Hobbies with your host, Junaid. We're visited by our amazing guests coming from all walks of life. Want to learn their story, their struggles, and their journey on how they got to where they are today. So stick around. In this episode, we get to speak with Nancy Cook. She's a top-ranked master mountain, cross-country, marathon runner, water skier, 20-year PSIA certified Alpine Ski Instructor, and coach. Nancy is also a fantastic ski race photographer, a proud mom, and a loving wife. She loves her community, her home, Labrador Retrievers, and the trails in the summer, the mountains in the winter. She's a lymphoma cancer survivor diagnosed back in July 2010. She's passionate about sharing her strength and journey to inspire others in their quest for health and fitness. I'm so excited to speak with her on this episode, so come join me and listen to her journey. Nancy, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. So we had a conversation a few days ago and got to learn about you, and you did 35 marathons. That is just mind-blowing. And how many Ironmans was it?
Four.
Four
Ironmans. Four Ironmans, yeah. 2 50-milers. Don't forget the 50-milers. Yep.
Holy smokes, and 2 50-milers. Now, that is a lot of tenacity, resilience. I mean, all those fancy words. You know, the longest that I've gone on a bike is probably like 101 miles. You know, I did a couple centuries back in 2017, but I really love that story. And I'm not much of an athlete, but being a cyclist and, you know, involved with people, and then you bring a lot of that stuff, as well as, you know, you're a Toastmaster speaker and you're doing a lot of amazing things. So tell us a little version of your journey for the audience, to tell them where you come from and how you got started.
Okay. When I was younger, I was always in sports. I always played team sports. So I played basketball growing up, and I was really excited about playing basketball. I'd play it every summer. I'd go to camps. I made varsity as a freshman, and we went to the state championships. We were state champions when I was a junior. And we went to the semifinals when I was a senior in basketball, and I ended up playing basketball in college as well. And I played field hockey in college. I love team sports. I love being active and doing as many different sports as possible. So I would bike in the summertime, and I would play with my friends and just, you know, that kind of training. When I went to college, I got into triathlons. I had gained your usual freshman 15 to 50, whatever that is, and just decided I really needed to trim out and get involved in running. And so running was an easy way to just sweat it out and get it off, and it helped me get in shape. So I started running, and I did my first triathlon in college. And it was funny because I swam in a pool. I was the swimmer. And then some other guy was a biker, my friend Glenn. And then Warren was our runner. So we're waiting for Warren to show up. Well, he had gone out drinking the night before. It's college anyway. And he didn't show up. And I had to run. So I did the swimming and the running, and biking was my favorite. So I decided I was going to do the whole thing the next year. I said, this is crazy.
Yeah. I
should be doing the whole thing. So I did the whole thing. And it was a really small triathlon at Green Mountain College in Vermont. And I won. So I won first woman, and I was and I love to win. You know, winning is so cool. So when I would win, it would just get me going. I would get so excited. So every time I would race or run in anything, if I was first in my age group or even second in my age group, I would just try to figure out how can I win and how can I get better and faster. So I was really motivated to keep running and keep biking and keep swimming. And it was a journey of the triathlon as well as the running that I did 4 Ironmans. And my best Ironman was 11-hour 50. And it was in Lake Sunapee. And Lake Sunapee, you did laps around the lake. It wasn't like a 100-mile out and back, and it's not so much like Kona that the weather's different, but the hills are there. The hills are in Sunapee. So we would do 4 laps around the lake for the bike after swimming in the lake. So yeah, 11 hours and 50 minutes. And I ended up second in my age group, and you had to be first in your age group to go to Hawaii. And I thought I was good enough to go to Hawaii. So I just kept, I'm like, I'm going to train harder. I'm going to train. And then that was my last Ironman at the time. Someday maybe I'll go back, but yeah, I love the people and the tribe, the people that run and the people that I meet along the way and running. And it's just been quite a journey and trying to knock off as many marathons. I've done Washington, D.C. 3 times.
Nice.
I was first in my age group, 40 to 45-year-old age group, back 3-hour, 14-minute marathon I ran in Washington, D.C.
Holy smokes.
I was 7th in Boston. So I ran a 3:05 in Boston and was 7th master in Boston in 2007. So I've done, and I was actually in my 50 miler, I was 4th woman in the Vermont 50 with a 8-hour, 30-minute 50 miler. So again,
wow.
I'm motivated by that, trying to push myself as hard as I can. And again, meeting some really amazing people. We were asked recently if something in our community was taken away, or if you lost something, what would it be that would be hard for you? And a lot of people would say different restaurant names, but for me, it's my running community. And there's a really amazing, soulful, supporting running community here. The Western Mass Distance Project is a team I run for, and I've been running for them for probably about 8 years. And we race. We went to the National Cross Country Championships last year, and cross country is fun because we all jump in my friend Ruthie's van and we go off to Boston and we run 6Ks and we do well, and it's fun. We have a great time. I've won my age group a couple times in the New England Series for the cross country.
Nice.
Even just recently. That and mountain running. So mountain running is the last, probably one of my favorite things, because I'm a skier. I'm a ski instructor, and I've been a ski instructor for 21 years. And before that, I was a ski patroller for 10 years. But I love mountains. So I love mountains. I love skiing. I love snow. And we teach skiing at Stowe. And I've taught a lot of different places, but I love to be at the top of the mountain. So in these mountain races that we do, we have a mountain series here in New England, and Mount Washington is the epitome. There's a series that you run, and we run Loon, we run Waterville, we run Mount Escutney, and we finish, and we usually, like we do at Mount Washington, the view is just to die for. It's just, you can't even, once you get to the top, it's like this, you have this really steep thing called the wall at the end that you can barely run up, if you can run up it at all. And you get to the top and you cross the finish line and you're at the very top, which is the highest, point in all of New England. And it's just wonderful. So mountain running is one of my favorite things too. So that's my athletic journey. I think, that pretty much sums it up.
Wow. That was very, inspiring. I mean, we've been talking for some time, and it just sounds amazing. I mean, you got started with those team sports, and then having that feedback from the team, that camaraderie, right? That I think that's what keeps you going. And sure, running and cycling is mostly a solo sport, but if you're fast enough, you can stay together as a group and keep running and help each other out. It all comes down to, okay, when you start running or when you start biking, you're always going to be a solo runner or solo biker because you can't keep up. You're going to be like, all right, I can't run anymore. I just need to walk, or, got to walk it off. But that's amazing, keeping your athlete, your strength up, your what's that word?
Endurance, maybe.
Yes, endurance. Getting all those things up is very important, and you have to train. Absolutely right. So and looks like you've been training all your life. So what's one thing that training has taught you that applies to life and entrepreneurship as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll just back up just a little bit on the team thing, because even though you're alone, or even though you're biking alone or running alone, and like I said, my team, the Western Mass Distance Project, and we also have the Sugarloaf Mountain Athletic Club. We have a couple of different clubs I'm involved in here, and they're there for you. Those people are, I mean, if they finished ahead of me at Mount Washington, they're yelling for me, sitting on a rock, cheering me on at the very end. And in cross country, it's the last person that crosses that determines whether your team wins or not. So, I mean, when you start looking at scoring for the team, at those people, that team it's still, even though it's an individual sport, team is huge in running, and it's hard to, that's what I love about running. I think that's what I like about running the most versus triathlons.
Yeah.
Triathlons feels kind of alone, but
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why, because there's no team. They don't have a team. You're an individual. I mean, you're always competing as an individual in triathlons. There are triathlon clubs where you train as a team, but when you compete, you're always, there's not, I don't think there is, but when I was competing, we didn't do teams.
That makes a lot of sense, because in cycling, you'll always pair up with, okay, who's the fastest versus who's the slowest, and keep going, especially when you're training and when you're riding centuries, you stick together. And we usually have a couple of groups. Okay, this is the A group, this is the B group, and what's your average speed going to be, and then try to keep it up so we can finish around the same time.
Right.
But it's interesting to, hear that when you're running, and especially when you're race running, I guess you would call it, you enter as a team, as a unit, and then is it the average time of the entire team that's calculated?
They usually take top three. They'll take like top three and 2 displacers.
Okay.
So they'll take the top 3 score, and then the 2 people displace. So even in Mount Washington, when we score as a team, it's the top 3, and then if it's close, they use a displacer times. But displacers count too. So it's really the top 5 of each. So then you never know who's going to be the top 5. Somebody could get sick or get hurt or anything along the way, or quit. Sit down and be like, I don't do. We've had those people too. But so what did training teach me? What's training taught me in entrepreneurship and in life? And I think when it comes down to it, it's just being able to keep on keeping on, and being able to, you see the finish line, and you think about the plan. What's the plan to get there? Like, so what's your business plan, right? What's your plan to get to that finish line? Yeah. And how can you effectively spend your time, not only your work time, but your rest time, right? So you've got to balance, everything's balanced, in your family time, your work time, your rest time, your training time. So when you think about your day and plotting out your time, if you're a time junkie, right? We got, the type, right? So if you're plotting out your time, you're thinking about, okay, so this is the time I'm with my family. And this is, or in some cases we work out together, or, whatever that is, whether you're watching TV together or whether you're having breakfast together or dinner together, you think about that time, and you prioritize that time to be with your family, and you prioritize that time for work, right? So work as a paid 9-to-5 job, or entrepreneur work, which is a little bit different because it's kind of freelance. So you're doing it when you have to do, or when you can do, or when that opportunity arises. Exactly. So you're going to nighttime networking meetings, so you're really balancing that out. So, and it's training. I mean, it's training, and in running and in training for races, you have to think about how are you going to build up that base in the beginning and not kill yourself all year round, because you could train all year round. So building up that base, and then getting ready for that specific distance, whether it's a marathon, half marathon, 5K, whatever the case, whatever the distance is, getting ready for that, and being specific on your training. The same thing with your business. If you want to start a podcast, or you want to start a YouTube channel, or you want to create, your coaching clients, you want to create a platform, you have to figure out where's your focus going to be and how are you going to get to that finish line with your podcast.
Yeah.
Don't get all deterred all over the place trying to do everything else when you want to do a podcast or you want to start your coaching business, right? So you have to focus on, that's what I want to do. That's what I have to spend that work time to do so I can get that done. And then maybe you can bring in those other things that you really want to do, because I'm one of those people that wants to do everything. So it's hard. I mean, it's hard to focus and like get it done. You know, I feel like I was saying, I feel like such a non-starter sometimes. And I really want to make it to that finish line. So I got to, you know, just have focus. And I'm really good at training focus. So I've got to, you know, got to get that entrepreneur focus too.
Bring that into the entrepreneur focus. Yeah, that's really key, because having that balance, and we see balance in nature. We see balance everywhere that we turn around, right? There's a day, there's a night. There's, you know, there's ups and downs. You know, it's hot and cold. So our entire existence is based on that balance. And where we survive and where we grow is being in the middle. And that's why grass is green. It's the center of all the colors. Right? So applying that to your real life, to your entrepreneurship, to your business is the key to moving to that next level. Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm just trying to think.
And it's important as a coach. So it's important as a coach to be able to help your clients focus. So if you're looking at how do I get from where I am now, where I might be bored with what I'm doing, or I don't have specific goals, or I don't, you know, I'm an athlete, I can do this, but I want to be good. I want to be better. I want to be faster or stronger, or I want to figure out how can I even better my technique to be stronger. So being able to know what your clients' goals are first, so you can help them focus, and then you can check in with them and make sure they stay focused. So I think it's good for yourself, but I also think it's good when you just to be that model, but also to help them get there too.
Absolutely. And for the past few years that I started the podcast, you know, I've learned so much different things. And like yourself, I like to do a ton of things all at the same time, right? Being a beekeeper, a cyclist, woodworking, you know, setting up a home studio, doing short films. And on top of that, I got to watch my kids. I got to make sure the lawn is watered, you know, the grass is cut. Being a good husband, you know, make sure the house is clean. So everything takes time. So it's super important to, focus on one thing, or even create time blocks. I think time management is very important, especially for entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurs is it's so hard to turn off that button. Like, okay, from 9 to 5, I'm going to focus on the business. But after that, it's family time. Or after that, I'm spending time with my friends and you know, so to give your brain some rest. So then when you come back fresh, you know, those ideas come flowing. Yeah,
I agree.
Sweet. So what are we talked about your running, we talked about what kept you motivated and what you're doing. So what are some of the motivations, like what are the core motivations that keep you going and the many different things that you're doing? And what's one of the main things that you're focusing on right now?
Well, I joined Toastmasters about 2 years ago. So it was 2 years ago I joined Toastmasters, and I joined Toastmasters because I didn't want to start. I wanted to do a TED Talk. So I have that dream. I still have that dream in my head. And
me too.
Yeah, right. I don't think it's that big of a dream. I mean, I think it's a big dream, but I looked at that and I sort of trained for that for a while. And when I got into Toastmasters, I found that speaking is more than just giving a TED Talk. speaking is about dynamic leadership. It's about effective coaching. It's about being able to speak well with audiences like yourself and your audience. But it really is relationship building with your surroundings, your community. I have really enjoyed my Toastmaster experience. I did a tall tale. I jumped right in and did tall tales. I had never even written a tall tale. So I wrote this tall tale, which I actually have turned into a book that I need to publish once I get an illustrator. So skiing is believing. And it was all about positivity. So that was my first. And I was second in the club with my tall tale. And then I became VP of PR. And I've given close to 30 speeches in 2 years through my Toastmaster experience, because I was just so gung-ho and I was so excited, and I love speaking. And I went through a whole path. I've dynamic leadership. So I completed my path this past May. You have to complete 2 paths plus do some leadership roles in public service and lots of different things for the Distinguished Toastmaster, which people spend years and years doing. So that's another goal of mine. I just was in the international speech contest, and I told my cancer survivor story. So I spoke that story, starting with my icebreaker, and I brought it back, and I did this contest. So I have given that speech so many times now. It really has come a long ways for me, and I ended up having to do it on Zoom, which it's much better when you're in a live audience. But Zoom is another skill. So there's another skill where we've been talking to our Toastmaster Club how important it is to be a good virtual speaker, because this is it. This is where we are today.
This is where we are today, yeah.
You know, there's so many opportunities that you have to be in front of people on camera, and making that personal connection with people on Zoom, where you have to look at the camera, not at their eyes, right? So there's a lot of different things and things that we've learned about Zoom that we want to make sure our Toastmaster Club gets from. And being president now of the Toastmaster Club is huge for me. It's amazing being a leader, and it's amazing having people come to you because you're the leader as the expert, and being able to help guide and bring them to the next level, and hopefully bring a lot of new members. And so that has been a huge passion of mine through this past 2 years, but even more so recently, because I just became president in July. So it's fun. I mean, it's so fun. And I encourage everybody to join Toastmasters, because you meet people and it's networking, and everybody can use to be a better public speaker, even if it's just because you have to stand up in front of your work team and give a presentation or share your thoughts. So it's a good thing. Toastmasters is a really great thing. So that's one thing. The other is, with athletics, I think it's the next thing for me, that how can I keep on top? Like, I want to win, right? I said earlier, I love to win. I love to be strong. I love people to look at me and say, wow, you're so strong, but so even like recently I got into rowing. So I bought a Concept 2 rower about 5 years ago, and I rowed on it twice, and I left it alone for 2.5 years or more, and down in the basement by itself, doing nothing. And then I decided I was going to do it again. So I got on it, and I found that there were all these challenges, and you can rank yourself in your age group. So I was able to race on my rower in my basement against all these people all over the world.
Check it out. It's amazing, right?
So it was so fun. And there's all these Facebook groups there's 2 Facebook groups that I belong to for the Concept 2 rower, but I'm ranked like top 5 in a couple of them. And I was ranked number 2 for a while. I just did I did a full marathon the day before I broke my arm.
Okay.
So I'm like on my second million. I've got like a 1.7 million right now meters that I've rowed.
Wow.
And Concept 2 has got amazing customer service. Concept 2 is like the number 1 rower in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure everybody's opinion. But it's a great rower, and it's effective all body workout, and it does your arms, your back, your legs, and it really is is a great, and I've joined a virtual gym. So I would project my Live to Row studio on my computer downstairs, or on my TV, from my computer to my TV. So felt like I was right in the room with all these people in Florida.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's like so many different things. I think if you look, and I think during the quarantine, so this whole quarantine has been eye-opening for me, because you can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. People don't want you to leave your house, unless you wear a mask. And I really have found the opportunity to virtually connect with a lot of people, including yourself, with Pat Flynn and Team Flynn and Smart Passive Income and the Slack channel with them all. It's just been, that has been an incredible thing for me. Dark Horse Rowing was another one. He did free live workouts for a while, and I connected with a bunch of rowers that way. And the more you connect with a community that you're passionate about, so if you're passionate about entrepreneurship, right? We're all there with Pat Flynn, and we're talking about being entrepreneurs and the struggles, and what are you doing, or what are you doing, and what can you, and so, it's like, I get excited when I'm around people that love doing what I love to do, whether it's running and running with my friends in my running club, whether it's entrepreneurs and being with the Team Flynn group and really, pushing that. And that has been huge for me. And rowing with my Live to Row studio, Dark Horse Rowing, and the Concept 2 community. It's, surround yourself with people that are passionate about what you love, and you will achieve more because of that.
Amen. I couldn't have said it better. The team, the people with the same goal as yourself motivate you so much more than anything else. And that's why human beings, we're social animals. We like working things together. That's why there's 1,000 board games created every month, right? Because we want to play together. That's why there's MMOs and World of Warcraft. People spend so much money because they get to live with that community, play with that community. And it's just so powerful to do that. And, talking about community, talking about connection, I was recently watching this TV show called Upload on Amazon Prime. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
And it is, I was like, wow. So it's interesting is because what they do is when somebody's about to die, it's basically a life after death online community.
Oh, wow.
So they upload your brain into this computer, into the cloud.
That's awesome.
And you can still have conversations with your alive people. Wow. And sure, your body's dead, but so it's almost like it's they're questioning afterlife if heaven and hell is real. Because
I know people that are mediums. Yeah.
Right. I was like, it was really interesting just watching the show, and then it all comes down to having that bond with somebody else who shares the passion, who shares what you love to do. It's just
amazing. When I was with the American Cancer Society, and I still am with the American Cancer Society because I truly support that organization.
Yeah.
But I'm a cancer survivor, as I briefly mentioned, but being a cancer survivor, and even before I was a cancer survivor, being around people that are passionate about fighting cancer and ending the disease and doing whatever they can do, raising the money, the funds that are needed to fight cancer. I was a big part of Relay for Life. Was the national signature activity, and it's huge. It still is huge, but it was really huge when I was there too. And the people and the passion that every community that has a Relay for Life in their community they're just so giving, kind, wonderful, passionate people. And then they celebrate cancer survivors and their caregivers and people that have been lost to cancer, and people, caregivers of people that they've lost. So there's this big celebration, and it's so heartwarming, but it's like one of those powerful experiences that's hard to hard unless you experience it and go to a Relay for Life or know Relay for Life or have volunteered for Relay for Life. That's, it brings that passionate people together, and it's amazing. It's amazing what that has done too. Yeah.
That's beautiful. So yeah, you mentioned earlier that, you're a cancer survivor for, was it, how long has it been?
10
years.
10 years. Yeah.
Wow. And my father-in-law, he passed away to cancer, mesothelioma. I think it was almost 10 years now.
Wow. Sorry.
So it's been crazy. We hear about cancer, and it's real, but how do you combat it? Where are the origins? Well, there's no telling, right? Is it related to food? Is it related to diet? Is it related to what is it related?
So many cancers. There's so many cancers. It's not just one
It's
thing.
not just one, exactly.
No, it's not just affecting your lungs. It's not just affecting your, I mean, there's leukemia, lymphoma, right? So I had lymphoma.
Yeah.
But there's breast cancer, and breast cancer survivors are very passionate, and bone cancer and brain cancer. I've lost a couple friends even recently to brain cancer, and some cancers they really fast, and then some cancers, and depending on what stage you're in, but it's a very complex situation, and trying to find a cure. There's not going to be just one cure.
Right. Exactly.
It's such a needed thing to focus on, because there's so many people that die, from cancer.
Exactly. My friend just found out that his daughter, who's 5 years old, has leukemia.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're going every week to to do the treatment, and it's going to be something that we're going to be doing for the next couple of years. I'm like, that's insane. It's such it's a very heavy thing to go through. Well, it's been awesome talking.
On a high note.
Yeah. So we want to end on a high note. So it's been, so we started with cycling. We started with, marathons, you're running, the 50 milers, entrepreneurship. Then we talked about blogging. We talked about, the Toastmasters. I actually joined Toastmasters back in 2016 when I was, working at this company, and I would participate. I think I was on and off. They would do every other week, or maybe it was every week. I can't remember. But every other week they would meet. And then, so I gave some speeches and learned a lot, because a lot of the times those things like pausing instead of saying, and ahs, right? It's annoying when you hear other people do it. Like right now, everybody's on a phone call. We're all on Zoom calls. We're all on conference calls. And there's always somebody who's then presenting, and they're saying the ums and ahs, and you gotta practice it. You gotta practice that stuff. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy. Yeah, and my whole cancer survivor story. I ran Chicago 2/3 of the way through treatment. So I'm really, and again, you heard my history in athletics and in running and everything, and probably, so it's not surprising that I did that, but it was, I was a little afraid when I first, can I run, and I think that people, when they're facing a disease, any disease, whether it's cancer, any disease, to really talk to your doctor and find out if you can do the things you love to do. So you want, again, keep doing those things, because it makes you healthy. And I think that's what helped me survive strong and be able to really fight it.
Absolutely. That's so awesome. You just got to keep your body moving, right?
Yeah.
So towards the end of the conversation, we talked on a lot of different topics, and we can probably deep dive into each topic so much more. It's really awesome talking with you. So towards the end, I like to ask some questions, and let's see what we get.
Okay.
So what is one hobby that you wish you got into?
Oh, and I answered these already.
You probably have, but a lot of the times, the answers don't match when you are live telling
when you actually go. I I was a skier. So I've been a skier since I was 7 years old, and
Hmm.
the one hobby. So we stopped skiing, and I played basketball. So we had stopped skiing as a family. It was just because it was a very expensive sport, and it still is. But being able to be in the industry and be able to promoting that sport, I competed in mogul competitions.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was a freestyle skier, and I made the top 16 at the Bear Mountain Mogul Challenge. That was my highlight there. But I really wish that I had then taken advantage more of the opportunity to be a better skier when I was younger,
Mm,
and I'm trying to do that now. So I
yeah.
think that's probably one focus I might have done a little bit differently. That and being a seamstress, I'll go on the other side because
Uh,
I made my own clothes in 4-H when I was a kid, and I have a sewing machine downstairs, and I really got into quilting. My
mhm.
sister makes costumes. She made my Wonder Woman costume and the Batgirl
Nice.
costume for the Chicago Marathon. But yeah, I wish I was a better seamstress, and I wish I had spent more time getting good at that.
Nice. My mom is an excellent seamstress.
Oh,
She's
nice.
she's been making these masks for
Oh,
since this all started, and
yeah.
I think she's probably sewn about 1,000 masks. She
Wow.
lost count.
Nice. Very nice.
And I have passion. I did sewing when I was younger also,
Uh-huh.
and I recently cut up some of my jeans that were non-wearable. So I'm looking to make them into a quilt. So let's see what happens.
Nice. Nice.
Another hack another hack that I was
Hack and
thinking,
hobby.
yeah, hacks and hobbies. Another hack that I was
Right.
thinking was to use some of that jeans material on the bottom of my socks because my socks keeps ripping
Oh,
on my
yeah.
heel area because
Right.
when we're walking in socks at home
Yeah.
and you have wooden floors, well, you're
Right.
gonna run down those socks. So I'm like, maybe I'll do something that with that. So that's
That's
something I want to
awesome.
think about. All right, next question. And you probably already mentioned this about, being a skier since you were younger. So what did you want to be when you were a child?
Oh, what did I want to be when I was a child? I wanted to be a nurse.
Mm.
I wanted to be a nurse. I always liked. I never had a problem with blood or dealing with people being sick, and I always liked taking care of people. So I actually did go to school for nursing at Castleton State College in Vermont, and
Hmm.
I ended up graduating with a phys ed degree at Castleton, but they have a really good nursing program there. And then I was a ski patroller, so I did get to deal with a lot of that type of
Nice.
thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, when I like taking care of people. So yeah, being a nurse was my dream back then.
Nice. I like it. Next question. So Musa here, my 5-year-old,
Mm.
he's trying to press the buttons on my controls here, which blacks me out. So he likes to do this, like punch the.
Nice, nice. I'll change my
I was like,
virtual background.
let me. Let me finish this call before I have to jump on the next one. Oh, check it out! There you are, running in your Wonder Woman costume.
Yeah, my sister made those. Yeah.
Nice, and she's the Batwoman.
No, this is my friend Kara from
Okay,
Oregon. Yeah,
okay,
she's
nice.
amazing. She ran with me the whole way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so next question. What is your favorite movie or TV show?
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's your dog.
I did. I said Warrior Nun. Warrior Nun. Have you seen that
Warrior
one
Nun.
yet?
I have not seen that, no.
It's really good. It's really good. It hasn't. It's a 2020. Like it started in 2020. It's an original Netflix, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
very good. She has like these special strengths and powers, but it's very interesting, and I like that. My husband's into. We watch a lot of sci-fi, so
Hmm.
we've watched a lot of Stargate, Atlantis, and
Yeah.
like all those kind of shows. And what's the other ones we've always? Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, we watch a lot of like we binge watch a lot of Netflix. That's kind of the thing.
Nice. I like it. All right. What movie would you choose if you got to play a character in it?
Wonder Woman.
Nice. I like
Wonder
that.
Woman, right? Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be so awesome.
Yeah, like the warrior princess kind of thing. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's
My
right.
code name used to always be Athena, like the goddess of war.
Yeah, perfect. I'm telling him to stop making sounds. I can't edit this out, which is fine. So that was your dog behind you?
Oh, yeah, that's Maverick. Maverick and Muzzy. We have 2 dogs. I'm a Labrador Retriever lover. I've had 3 yellow labs. So this is my 3rd yellow, and Muzzy's a charcoal. Nice. So we love our dogs. I put them in the crate for this, though, so they're not, you can't hear them bark, or they'd be right here, like barking.
Yeah. All right. I think this next question is pretty self-explanatory. Who's your favorite superhero?
I know, right? Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
obviously.
Wonder Woman. That's right. Supergirl or Wonder Woman. We have watched the whole Supergirl series too. She's pretty awesome.
Yeah, she's really cool. It's been pretty good. I've been watching the whole thing. I mean, I like all superheroes. I've been watching like all the superhero shows. It's a really
Smallville.
good.
Have you watched Smallville too?
I watched a lot of Smallville.
Yeah.
I didn't finish the whole thing though.
That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Lois Lane. Oh
Lois
yeah.
Lane,
you have to watch the whole thing. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Musa said he likes Batman.
You like Batman?
That's his favorite superhero.
I do. Batman's
all right.
Cool.
Last question.
And I like
and Spider-Man. Okay.
Yeah.
If you were a board game, what would it be?
Oh, if I was a board game, what would I be? I want to say Twister.
All right, we'll give you a Twister.
Well, give me Twister.
He wants to be Trouble. That's his
Trouble. Yeah,
that's his board game. Is it
I was
because you always get in trouble?
I was going to say Monopoly.
Monopoly. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of Monopoly. It's so classic, you know.
Yeah.
All right, so
life. Remember Life?
That question, yeah, the Life game is awesome too. I think I've never played the game of Life, but I've played Monopoly a lot, as well as Risk and Settlers of Catan. That's another good one.
My nails need to be cut.
All right, we can cut your nails in a little bit. So Nancy, thank you so much for your time. This was a ton of fun talking to you. You know, we'll definitely keep in touch and see where we, end up. And maybe, in the future when this whole quarantine thing dies down, we can, meet and, go for a run or, do cycling or something. I don't know. Talk more about entrepreneurship. Where can my audience find you if they want to get connected with you?
That'd be great. I'm Nansky Mountain. So it's NANSKIMTN. And it's Nansky Mountain on Instagram and Nansky Mountain on Twitter.
Okay.
And Nansky Mountain on WordPress. So that's it. That's how you get me. NanskyMountain.wordpress.
All right, perfect.
Yeah. So it's all Nansky Mountain. Look for Nansky Mountain. You'll find me.
Perfect. So we'll be sure to include these links to the podcast notes. And it was really fun talking to you. And it's just awesome learning about somebody who's passionate. Polymath.
The polymath.
Awesome meeting another polymath, right?
That's right.
It's amazing. Well, you keep on making it happen, and we'll chat again, and you tell me about what happened with your arm. I've got to jump off and
get back.
Talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the episode. Thanks so much for listening to our guest on this episode. please send me an email at junaid@hacksandhobbies.com to tell me what you loved about our guest today. You could find links mentioned in this episode on the hacksandhobbies.com website.